been a long time coming. Finally out here on my way into some public lands to see how we can go on a hunt. It's new territory, so I'm not sure what it'll bring, but it's certainly going to be cold.
Energy and reducing stress.
But you know what, my question is about that is that, and I know they are doing that, but aren't they, a lot of it just comes from like animal ethics there, doesn't it?
I think it comes from not wanting what you call it red card. I'm sure there's that.
Well, we're up here. There's a bit of snow on the ground, as you can see, and we'll see how it goes. Definitely chilly, rain and light, probably turn to sleet overnight, and we'll, yeah, it could be interesting, but you never know unless you get out there, so let's do it. It was just going to be a quick look down in here, bit of planning and scouting, but let me go on 100 metres from the truck, and I've already got sign, and just up behind me it's a really fresh sign, maybe yesterday. So conditions are freezing cold, it's 1 degree, so fair chance they're either feeding or they're hunkered down in some of the bracken like stuff over here, the fern and that. So we'll just see what we can turn up. I just got onto a big boar, but I think he was on to me. He just didn't know exactly what was happening. And he was heading upwind, he would have winded me. Got a shot at about 60 or 70. Sort of felt good, no squeal, but that's not unusual of big boars. And pretty close in to hear a thump, but I'm not sure. So I'm just looking for sign. And I'll try and follow him up. Well, I'm pretty sure I fucking missed him. Like, it was 80 metres. It should have been a sitter. A week ago I was busting plates at 300 yards. 300 metres actually, and I can't even pull off a shot on a great boar in 70 metres, but them's the breaks. The weird thing was, he didn't run. He took off and just came up there, trotted up the hill, didn't make a sound. He's a wily old fella, and I'd say he lives in there. I was caught off guard because everything looked right and felt right, the right time of the day, but there was no sign, none at all. And then I was just walking down a big log parallel to it, to where it tapered out to cross it. And I saw his back come up through the bush about 50 yards through, but I could only see the bristles on his shoulders sticking up. And he was just walking, and he was coming up parallel to me, and he would have crossed. He was going to come up and go to his left and cross upwind of me and spooked. He would have winded me for sure. I think he knew something was up. But that's what keeps us coming back. I'm going to come back out here in the morning and have another look, because I don't think this fella will go far. So we might get redemption. Well, I'm definitely in that boar's home range from last night. Pissed off with myself that I missed that shot. It was a fucking sitter. But something about this pig don't fucking sit right with me. I've got my suspicions. I think he's got no fucking ears, literally. From what I'm aware of, in this state forest there's a lot of guys dog it. And I'd say he's had his ears ripped off. And the dogs can't latch onto him now. And he didn't run after the shot. I just spent an hour following up to where I last saw him, and there is not a sign of a hit. And that was only over 100 metres. So he lives to fight another day. But I think I'm right in his home territory. It's just full of diggings from probably 24 hours old through till, a week old. I don't think this fella's going anywhere. He'll be hanging around in here. He knows what's happening. I was just the mug that missed the shot. So Mr. Boar, you live to fight another day. Me, I may well be back after you.
G'day guys, I thought it was worthy to put a bit of annotation in this video, a bit of a note, based on a couple of things that came out of this hunt. This hunt took place in one of the state forests in the Upper Hunter, and it came to light about 2 months later that this state forest, which I'd already realised, and 4 or 5 others also adjacent, which were in the lower New England area, you were prohibited from hunting wild dogs. Now, the interesting thing about that was how it was incongruous with the fact that national parks and state forests were both baiting for wild dogs in that area. And 6 weeks after this hunt, I had another hunt with Profty, and I'd spoken to a property owner adjacent to the state forest there, and he had let me know about the massive wild dog problem that they were having in the area. Now, in discussions with Profty and thinking about it, about 6 weeks later, there was a discussion on a Facebook group, Newcastle Hunting Group, which was a pretty sane discussion about why you couldn't hunt wild dogs. I thought it was time to take some action. So I made a phone call to DPI and let them know of the decision that you couldn't hunt wild dogs in the area as per the written permission, yet private property owners were having issues with them, national parks were baiting them, and state forests were baiting them, and asked why, what was the issue, because it seems incongruous that hunters who are allowed in there to hunt and are part of the feral animal control, well, you're not good enough to hunt them. So it just didn't make sense. So I followed that up with an email about a week later, and then some 3 or 4 weeks later, I hadn't heard anything, and I followed both the email and the initial phone call up with another phone call. They took some notes and they got back to me. I got a phone call the next day from DPI saying, yeah, look, we're looking into it. We're waiting on some information from state forests. About 4 days later, I got a phone call back saying it was an administrative error from a setting in the written permission system, as I understood what was being conveyed to me, and that they were unaware that it was even an issue, that was even going out like that. And that also, they had now corrected it. Now, it was the next day it popped up on Newcastle Hunting Group that, some bloke said, I've done a written permission for Forest XYZ in that area, and I can hunt wild dogs now. And it was no coincidence to me, because I'd made some phone calls, obviously, and the email. So to me, the lesson out of that is, if you're a public land hunter, whether it be in Tasmania, whether it's in Victoria, or whether it's in New South Wales or any other state that has some or is about to get some or does get some in the future, and you come across things that don't seem quite right, make a phone call, send an email. The staff in these places are generally exceptional people, and they'll take your inquiry and questions sincerely. And what a great outcome. We can hunt wild dogs in those forests now. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for the ongoing support. We're gearing up for the rut now. We're still getting some warm days. The weather's cooling off. We've had plenty of rain. The grass is about this high out there. Get out there, get amongst it. Take plenty of meat. Look for your trophies, whatever floats your boat, guys. But just enjoy it and present yourselves as really great hunters. And, all we can do is try and influence what others think of us in the positive. So thanks a lot for your time, and spread the good work. See you later, guys.